What is the lie detector test? We are now on to Chapter 8. So, many law enforcement agencies do utilize some type of lie detector test as a part of their hiring process. Okay, the two main types of lie detector tests utilized are the polygraph examination and the voice stress analysis or computer voice stress analysis, or VSA or CVSA, are the most common tests utilized. Not every state in the U.S. allows these types of testing. For instance, Oregon, New York, and Pennsylvania, along with Texas, are four states that do not allow them to be utilized in pre-employment testings. Therefore, you should research your state and hiring agency to see if a lie detector test is given. The term lie detector is actually a misnomer. Lie detection or truth verification exam is more appropriate description because the subject is taking a lie detector could be seen as answers that were deceptive instead of outright lying. So the difference between the two should be taken into account by the examiner in reading the results. According to Dr. Corey, who's actually a police psychologist in Oregon and actually developed the law enforcement psych eval, he says that polygraph tests help detect deception and they spur truth telling by applicants, and they can be a useful tool when background investigators find discrepancies in an applicant's personal history. So again, as I told you before, the lie detector test should be utilized as a tool, and if there's any deception that's found in the lie detector test, it should then go back to the background investigator to investigate more. So what's the history? So the history goes back to 1917, where you had a police officer and a medical student doing a publication on a detector that they've created, and in 1921, that police officer and medical students had that invention out. Larson, who was ironically, again, like I said, police officer himself, believed that when a person lied, that physiological changes occurred, and if they could record those changes, then the person could be caught in a lie. So the polygraph examination is a diagnostic instrument that records physiological variables in a subject due to stress. So if a subject if a subject lies, it can cause stress on the body, and in turn, the body displays involuntary responses, which the diagnostic instrument measures. So the digital polygraph has different areas that attach to. It has a chest area, and I'll let you pause here and look at the sensors that are placed in each area. But there's a sensor placed on the chest, the abdominal area, the palms of the hands, the fingers, the arm, as well as the chair. The three parts of the polygraph examination, there's generally three main parts. There's a pre-test, there's an actual polygraph examination, there's a post-test. Okay. And I don't know what that year is between the mistake and application date. So just let's take that fourth one away because there's only three. So that's a mistake in the PowerPoint. Sorry about that. All right. The Employee Polygraph Protection Act of 1988 prohibits private employers from using polygraph testing, but does not affect public employers such as police and other governmental CCJ institutions. All right. Now we're moving on to the VSA, or sometimes CVSA, which is a voice stress analysis. So the VSA programs, it's a computer program, interpret changes in vocal patterns. Have you ever been nervous in front of, when you've been speaking in front of class or someone and your voice or your lips start to shake? That's what the program is looking for. So the first scientific experiment on the CVSA was conducted in 1971. And during the experiment, subjects had involuntary vibrations of their arm muscles when relaxed. However, once the subject was stressed, the vibrations disappeared. So the VSA applies the same technology to detect micro tremors in the muscles of a subject's throat and larynx when the subject speaks, but disappears when they experience stress. In 2002, over 1,300 state and local agencies use CVSA, but it's very expensive. It's like $10,000 to $15,000 for the program. All right, if I'm honest, can I fail a lie detector test? So the polygraph and VSA do not measure truthfulness. Instead, they measure, and this is what's important, the body signs of physiological stress. So most candidates that take the lie detector test are terrified. So whether it's ignorant of what the test is, being hooked up to all those cords and sensors, or having something in the past that they're worried about, There's a number of reasons a candidate can be stressed out during a lie detector test. The simplest of questions could cause the best candidate to be anxious, and thereby the stress could show the results as deceptive. I'll let you pause here, and here are some example questions asked. Here's some more. Here's some more, and again, you can pause. All right, so how do you prepare? Well, knowing what to expect, knowing these questions, okay? Because you want to eliminate the physiological changes that occur. So the more you're prepared, the more you're going to make sure a false failure doesn't, or deception doesn't show up, okay? Be on time. Know what to expect. Make a good first impression. Dress to impress. Make eye contact. Make good introductions. Thank the examiner. Have confidence in yourself. All right? That will end this discussion on the lie detector test.